Happy Tuesday, everyone. Kelsie and I are enjoying this crisp autumn morning by going on a nice little walk. Kelsie is getting the day off today because she was feeling a little sick yesterday, and so just like when people are sick and they get the day off, she is also getting the day off. So we are just spending the morning taking a nice little walk and making sure she feels her best. Anyways, so Kelsie was feeling sick yesterday. She had an accident indoors, and for Kelsie that's super unusual. I mean, in the 2.5 years I've had her, I can probably count the number of accidents she's had on one hand. And most of those times have been her feeling crummy. Definitely highly unusual and definitely an indicator that she was feeling sick. She was also super lethargic and just didn't want to even stand or really play and just wanted to sleep, and so for her that's super unusual. I mean, she's always gung-ho, ready to go, ready to play, and so the fact that she was super lethargic was, an indicator that she was sick. So we just spent a quiet evening at home together, resting and relaxing. She had a bland dinner, and we're just taking it easy this morning. She is getting the entire day off. She doesn't have to work today because just like she takes care of me, I want to take care of her. And also, she can't take care of me if she's not feeling her best. And so when she's feeling sick, she gets the day off. It's only fair to her, especially because she does tend to be like a workaholic or playaholic, and so she doesn't know her own limits, and so I have to kind of set them for her. Go kitty. And of course, it's a little funny having her be the sick one instead of me, but life happens and that's okay, and we deal with it as best as we can. So what happens to me when she's sick? Well, I essentially put my life on hold because she is an important piece of medical equipment for me, and when she's sick, she gets the day off, which means anything that's non-essential gets tabled for later, essentially. For example, today I'm going to a review session for a test because it's super short, and as long as I'm feeling okay beforehand, I should be okay, hopefully. But apart from that, all other plans are really scrapped today. And, it's not super convenient, but at the same time, she is, super important to me, and I also just want to be there when she's sick, because if she's not feeling well, I want to be there to take care of her. And as much as service dogs and their handlers are inseparable, service dog handlers, for a number of reasons, can choose to go without their service dogs sometimes, depending on their disability and whether or not they can use their service dog for a given activity. For example, I have an activity once a week where it's essentially not ideal to have Kelsie with me, and so she is babysat during that time. And as much as I'm not super comfortable not having her around, it's as long as I'm feeling okay, I can do that activity without her. Kelsie. And just for the record, Kelsie playing fetch is not an indicator of whether she's feeling well or not, because this dog will probably play fetch on her deathbed. Like, literally nothing will keep her from playing fetch. She once had a muscle injury and she still kept playing fetch, even though you could tell it hurt. So the fact that she's playing fetch doesn't necessarily mean she's better. That being said, if Kelsie ever voluntarily stops playing fetch, then you know that she's not feeling well at all. And that's what happened yesterday, is she voluntarily stopped playing fetch, and you know that it's she's really not feeling well if she voluntarily gives up her favorite game. I'm leaving this little girl quickly tied to a bench while I pop inside a building for a half second because even though under the Americans with Disabilities Act, she does not need to wear a vest or anything signaling that she's a service dog, and so even though she could go indoors like this, I'm committed to giving her a day off, and I don't want to make her work, even if she's not wearing her working gear, and even if it's just for 5 seconds. And so she is just gonna hang out for honestly maybe 60 seconds, and I'll return to her. But poor little Nugget isn't used to this, are we? This is the spot where Kelsie would be. I feel naked without her here, honestly. It's weird not having her being my partner. Reunited, and it feels so good! Hi, sweetie! I missed you! Kelsie and I are finally home after our walk together. She is just hanging on her dog bed, relaxing, and I'm just hanging on my bed relaxing. I'm about to attempt to stomach some breakfast, and this is really all I've been able to eat for breakfast recently. It's just a parfait from King Arthur Flour, which is like a local, better version of Starbucks, and it's awesome and incredible. And King Arthur Flour has a little shop thing on campus. Their parfaits, for whatever reason, have been essentially the only thing I can stomach in the mornings and sometimes in the afternoons, and so that's what I've been eating recently. My nausea has been acting up really, really badly recently. I thought it was just because of the heat wave recently. Last week, it was like 90 degrees the entire week, and now finally it's like 50 degrees this week. But even though it's cooled off, I'm still feeling really sick and don't feel like I can stomach too much. Like, even last night for dinner, I didn't really feel like I could stomach much. And so that's kind of frustrating, especially because normally for me, breakfast is like my most reliable meal of the day, meaning that like my nausea and ability to eat kind of decreases throughout the day. And so like I am more likely to be able to eat breakfast, or like a normal breakfast, than I am likely to eat like a normal dinner. But so it's a little disheartening having these problems and not really being able to eat breakfast. I mean, at least, you know, the parfaits tend to be okay and there's something that I can eat. So, you know, it could be worse. I could be left with no options. At least I do have an option. But I'm disappointed because there's some nice breakfasts on campus, and I wish I could actually indulge, because breakfast on campus is actually one of the meals I enjoy. Vegetarian options can be a little, it's kind of hit or miss on any given day, but breakfast is never hit or miss. It's always a hit. So, I'm disappointed, but I mean, I'm glad that I at least have an option, so I will try to stomach this, and we'll see how that goes. I'm headed home after going to class without Kelsie, and honestly it was a really weird experience not having her with me. I definitely felt naked without her, and I definitely miss her. I miss having my little furry best friend with me. Even the kid next to me noticed and asked if she was okay, which was super sweet. But I'm excited to get home and spend time with her again. I didn't quite get to film the reunion scene since I needed 2 hands to snuggle the pup, who was very happy to see me. But we're now playing some fetch out back behind my apartment, so that she can get her wiggles out since she was cooped up inside. She's a little bit more quiet and lethargic than she normally is, but she's playing fetch and she's opting to play fetch, so I'll take that as a good sign. Kelsie is finally doing a lot better. Yes, I said your name. She's still a little quiet, but she's definitely getting antsy, so I think she'll be ready to go back to work tomorrow. Everything is looking good. Everything that has come out of her body is looking healthy, so I think it was just a little tummy upset instead of a bug, which is awesome. So we will say goodnight, and thanks for listening to our story today.